Testing, testing, 1, 2, testing. Testing, testing, 1, 2, testing.
All right, I would like to call this meeting to order. Special school board meeting for Crete Monee 201U. Today is Tuesday, December the 10th, 2024, 6:30 p.m. Mr. Secretary, roll call, please.
Okay, do we have Mr. Albrecht? No. Gallegos is here. Mr. Sawalish?
Here.
Ms. Zeit-Strombergs?
Here.
Ms. Werfolk?
Here.
Dr. Hall?
Here. Had to lower my voice like you, make it deep.
And President Brown.
Here. Thank you. I'd like us to stand for the pledge, being led by Secretary Mr. Gallegos, followed by a mission statement led by Dr. Hall.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Our mission statement is to engage and empower our students to positively impact their community and future.
Thank you both. Yes. I need a motion to open up. Do I need a motion to open up the?
Yes,
open-
yes.
Okay. All right, I need a motion to open up the truth and taxation for the public hearing. I have a motion to do so.
Moved.
Moved by Bill,
Second.
second by Dr. Hall. Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
All right. Gallegos is an aye. Mr. Sawalish?
Aye.
Ms. Zeit-Strombergs?
Aye.
Ms. Werfolk?
Aye.
Dr. Hall?
Aye.
President Brown.
Aye. Motion passed. All right, Jason or Brian, it's on you.
Cheryl, are there any public comments regarding the truth and taxation hearing? Okay, thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Brian Johnson, Director of Finance for the school district. We're here to discuss the 2024 truth and taxation hearing. If you tuned in last month, this is the same presentation we reviewed last time, so just let me know if we have any questions. Otherwise, I'll get to it. To start, definitions: equalized assessed value is the result of taking a third of your property's assessed value, which you are then taxed upon. An example of a $150,000 home valuation would be taxed at the $50,000 equalized assessed value. The tax levy is the amount of money the school district requests from property taxes for our operating funds. The tax extension is the amount of money the county clerk gives us, and the tax rate is the multiplier that the county clerk applies against your equalized assessed value to know the amount of property taxes you are required to pay. The requirements for us: we can request an increase of taxes each year, a maximum of 5%, or CPI, which was 3.4%, so that is the max we could request for the 2024 levy. New construction and new TIFs rolling off are not part of this calculation. The levy is more than 5%, which ours is this year due to those TIFs rolling off that we'll discuss later. We do need to hold this truth and taxation hearing. Our notice was published in the newspaper the week of Thanksgiving, and we have had this notice published on our website more than 30 days in advance of the hearing. The board will vote to approve the levy next week, and then it must be filed with the county clerk no later than December 31st, which is the last Tuesday of December. Historical data: equalized assessed value throughout the district has steadily increased. The data we show goes back to 2016. It's been pretty consistent. Because of that, our tax rate that we've requested annually has gone down because we need less of a percentage of a higher dollar amount, and that's going to remain consistent moving forward. The data we used to determine the levy, again, consumer price index was 3.4%. So that is our cap maximum that we're allowed to request. The EAV throughout the district was just under $832 million. The estimate of new construction is around $100 million based on what we received from the Will County assessor because of the the University Park TIF that's rolling off. We're estimating approximately $4.9 million of additional revenue, and our annual bond payment will remain stagnant at just under $12 million annually. The yellow column in 2024 is the ballooned levy that we are requesting from the county for this year. The reason those numbers are so high, again, is because we have a TIF rolling off and we only get one chance to request that additional approximately $5 million in revenue. So we increase this by an amount much higher than we think, just to make sure we're not missing any money, because again, we're working off of estimates at this time. So we just want to make sure we're covering all of our bases. And just a reminder, we do have the Monee TIF rolling off next year, so we'll be in a similar boat where we'll balloon next year to make sure we get all of that revenue as well. Our estimated extension, the funds that we think we will receive, is in the yellow column here. Again, not as high as what we're requesting, but we want to make sure we're getting everything. And again, the bond and interest payment is staying stagnant. And then here is the historic view of our tax rate that we are requesting. Again, you'll see that that has decreased annually. And this year with that TIF rolling off, we're requesting about 6% less than we did last year. That 5.45 is about 6% lower than the 5.8 we requested last year. And then again, because of that TIF, the bond and interest share that each taxpayer is being asked to pay is lowered as well by about a little over 8%. So what does this mean to a property owner? Here are some examples of a home that was valued at $100,000 historically, $150,000, $200,000, and $250,000. We are estimating an increase in total taxes paid, which we don't get any say in. A lot of properties were revalued at a higher EAV than they have been historically. And again, we get no say in what the taxpayer actually pays. We just have a say in what proportion we are requesting. And we are always very conservative in these numbers. Last year, the actual payment that came out after all the numbers were finalized was lower, and we expect that to be the same for this example of the $100,000 home. We do expect that $106 number to be high and the actuals to come out lower, but again, we're conservative in our estimates so that there's not any surprises. So with that, if anyone has any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Otherwise, just a reminder of the important dates. Our hearing is today. Next week, you'll vote to approve the tax levy, and then everything is due to the county clerk by December 31st, which we will likely get that submitted on the 18th once everything is finalized and approved. Are there any questions?
Thank you, Brian.
Wait, Bill, did you say?
No, I said thank you.
Oh, just a quick question. This time of the year, the public is looking and seeing that their taxes is going to go up, and a lot of times the finger gets pointed at us being the big contributor of a tax increase. And so I do want to reach out to you to see if next week that both tax assessors that's in our district here, being Monee tax assessor and Crete tax assessor, attend our meeting next week, just if there's some questions to be asked from the public about tax increase that the assessors are the ones that increase the EAV or the
Correct.
assessment values of the homes, not the district.
Correct.
So I know we have the biggest rate for the property owners, but nonetheless, we have nothing to do with the assessed value.
Correct.
And I've seen in many meetings where the public came out and hammered us as being the ones that caused their assessments to go up, but that's not the case. So we have had in the past where, not all the time, but assessors have showed up just to speak on that.
Okay, yeah, we can reach out and see if we can
Yeah,
get
if
them
you
here.
could, if they, it's not available, that's fine, but if we can extend an offer to them.
Sure.
Okay, thank you. And going back to the CPI, if you can just clarify the CPI, that's on the requirements, PowerPoints, the first couple sheets there, the third sheet. Tax extension may increase a maximum of 5% or CPI 3.4% of the previous year extension, whichever is less. So that CPI was based on this January number, right?
December
This-
31st of 2023.
2023, 2024. 2024.
23. It's always the year before, right?
It wasn't this January?
It was December
2024?
31st, 2023. CPI was 3.4%, which is what our 2024 tax levy is based on.
I thought it comes out and it's, well, just, if you can provide clarity on that. I thought it comes out and we capture it on that January, like this January, this past January, we take the CPI of this past January. I thought. If you can
December
clarify that.
31st.
Okay? You clarify that.
Okay.
Okay, do you know what CPI is running at now, roughly?
Not off the top of my head, but can
Okay.
look it up and get back to you once I get back to my computer.
It's
Okay.
President Brown, they'll be announcing CPI tomorrow on a monthly basis. It's hovering around 3%. It's
Okay,
fluctuated
it's gonna be
between 3% and 3.2 on a monthly basis. But I'm looking right here, and Mr. Johnson's correct. Compared to December of 2022 CPI inflation fell by 3.1 percentage points from 6.5%, which led us to levy at 5% previous year in December of 2022 to 3.4% in December of 2023.
2023. So that's the number we use the end of December, or December 1. So this one is coming up this December is going to be next year.
For next year.
Correct.
Next year. Okay, so it's not January. Okay, I thought it was January. I thought we used the January CPI.
No problem.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome,
Thanks,
sir.
Brian. Appreciate it.
Any
All
other
right,
questions?
Any other questions, board members?
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, I'd like a motion to close the Truth and Taxation public hearing.
Moved.
Moved by Bill,
Second.
second by Jamie. Questions, comments? If not, roll call, please.
Okay. Gallegos is an aye. Mr. Sawalish?
Aye.
Ms. Zeit Stumbers?
Aye.
Ms. Warfolk?
Aye.
Dr. Hall?
Aye.
President Brown?
Aye, motion carried. Okay, coming up at number 7, we do have a reason to go into closed session. And it is for the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees. Can I have a motion to go into closed session for reasons just stated?
Moved.
Second.
Any questions or comments? If not, roll call, please.
Ms. Warfolk? Ms. Zeit Stumbers?
Aye.
Mr. Sawalish?
Aye.
Gallegos is an aye. Mr. Ulbrich?
Aye.
Dr. Hall?
Aye.
President Brown?
Aye. We will be in closed session for about 15, no longer than 15 minutes. And when we come back, we will continue on our meeting, including taking actions as necessary. Thank you. And a little later than what we anticipated. I got a question. Did we feed the dog? He's good? Okay. All right. As he should. Okay. Okay. We're back here for public comments. And we do have any electronic public comments? None? Okay, we do have two public comments. Mr. Bruce Barr for Yellow Bus Group, transportation bid results, and regular education. All right, please. The mic.
My name's Bruce Barr. I'm the owner of Yellow Bus Group. I've been in the bus business for 48 years. Used to own Illinois Central School Bus. I submitted a bid here at your school district. I want to let you know that your bid was very fair, transparent. Jason gave us all the information we needed. It was almost a perfect bid, because that's not always the case when you put bids together. I operated with Illinois Central about 3,300 school buses in 11 states, so I've done a lot of bids, but I just want to give him the kudos that he did a very nice job. And I also want to tell you that even though we're going to get kicked to the curb, thank you for giving me the opportunity to give you a bid. And maybe we'll see on your special ed bid. We'll see. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Well received. And Jason, the check is in the mail. It may have all zeros on it, but the check is in the mail. Okay.
Front or behind?
I appreciate that comment there. Next up, we have another public comment. If I'm pronouncing this right, Mr. Tom Siebert. Okay. Regarding MAC school bus, or NAC school bus.
Good evening. Tim Steber from North America Central School Bus. Thanks for giving me a minute today. And I think he heard my notes because I said the same thing. I was going to come up here. Hey.
Oh, wow.
We all work for each other sooner or later. Heck, I
Wow.
started this business 10 years ago for First Student whenever they came in here.
Wow.
Bruce started it up before that on Illinois Central with his team. So we all
Wow.
come around. We know a little bit about your business. I want to thank you for allowing us to bid. I think it was pretty competitive. If there's any questions on it later on down the road or something, you always feel free to give us a call. And we look forward to the special needs bid if this one doesn't work out. So thank you very much.
Wow. Thank you. Wow, that was great to hear. Being out there hearing a lot of contracts and being bidded on, the bidding process have been seen just in my private life out there as being challenged and questionable. For you guys to come and say that the bid process was fair and equitable, that says a lot about our guys again. Thank you. Appreciate it. All righty. Next up, board updates.
So I attended the Triple I conference, and on Friday was in a session about bringing the student voice to the board. So there's a lot of discussion. It was a morning and afternoon session. I got the name of a board member from Oswego, who has had students on their board for the past 2 years. And I got her number to bounce ideas off of. She said that there's a separate meeting of students that meets with the superintendent prior to the board meeting, so they can add things to the agenda, or discern which issues should come to the board and which shouldn't come. So there's, they spoke about an application process where students, juniors and seniors in the high school would present applications, and then I think a total of like 6 students would be in a meeting with the superintendent, and then they would rotate out unless there was an issue that carried over to the next meeting, then that person would have to see if they can adjust with the next person in line. So I guess we need to, if we're serious about bringing a student voice to the board, I guess there's some things that we should iron out here, so we can bring that back to the high school. There were some middle schoolers at the training, and we're a unit district, so we have both middle school and high school. I was asking how to incorporate both schools into our board meeting, and they said, slow down, pump the brakes, just do your high school first, get that going, and make that succeed, and then we can talk about, bringing in the middle school later. So that was that training, and then I got to hear Dr. Winkleman from District 220. It's the district that I graduated from. He was talking about innovations. That was the session that he was talking about. He had heard that there was going to be like a mandate for full day kindergarten or something like that. And he didn't have a place to put all these students. So what he did is he sectioned off like 2 classrooms in the high school so that the high school's juniors and seniors could teach the kindergartners. And I would like him to maybe present here, or if we could go over there and visit and see how it works out, because it sounded like when he talked about it, it sounded like way out there, but he says it works really well. He's like, if you've ever seen a high schooler defend a little guy, a little kindergartner, like they defend him pretty well. So he says it's been working out really well for both the upperclassmen and the little guys. So
Just for clarification purposes, there are like licensed teachers with them?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
Cool. Just wanted to make sure, because I was like, oh, no.
No.
But, oh, okay,
Yeah,
I'm down with
yeah,
it.
yeah.
All right.
So it's they're doing like chemistry. They're doing like chemistry classes and stuff like that, and they're teaching the kids how to do what they're learning in school. It's really cool. I guess I haven't seen it in practice yet. I gotta make a trip up there, and what else? It's been so long since our last meeting.
A couple weeks.
Yeah. What else did I attend? I attended the Crete Country Christmas, where our show choir performed, and our choir kids performed. What else? There was a family night with the ELC that was in the gym with dinosaurs and stuff. So that was really cool. I got to bring my little one. She got to see all her friends and teachers. So that was really good. And I like those because I'm not the focus. Nobody knows who I am. Like, they don't care. So I get to blend in. It's really cool.
Not blend in with the kids. Right?
Yeah, they're tall.
Okay.
No, I'm trying to remember everything that I did since the last meeting, but it's a lot of stuff.
While you're trying to remember, just kudos to all of the musicians that played at the holiday concert.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah.
Including your son, right?
Fine, they were all great. My son was as great as all of the other children, I swear.
Yeah.
All right. Alex?
I think that's it. I think that's it for me.
Okay, that was a lot, and thank you so much for all you do, both of you. Thank you. And again,
And then the
attending
parade.
first-
We were in the parade.
Yeah.
That was on Saturday.
Yeah.
We got new lights for the van.
Yeah.
Yes, they did a phenomenal job.
Yeah, they did really good.
I do appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And we did, well, a big hit because we, Rob Radcliffe did this Ralphie. We had Ralphie from that,
Christmas story.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so that was a big hit. People were laughing as we were driving up and down. So.
Main
you had
Street.
to have seen it.
I missed it. I missed it.
Yeah.
I saw you too.
Yeah.
I waved to you, but I think you figured I didn't see you.
Where were
He
you?
was in the audience.
No, I know.
Yeah. My wife's business.
He's on Main Street.
Yeah.
She was.
I'm just messing.
I was on the other side of the bus. You didn't see me. So, but thank you, Alex, and again, thank you. Kudos for you supporting the building principal visit. Thank you for that too as well. Okay, yeah. We're going. We visit a couple schools. Okay, doctor. Oh.
I don't have anything to say.
Okay, Nelson. Anybody else?
Is that better?
Oh, it is a lot better.
I also attended the III conference, and so I was 3 days into my appointment, so that was fun and educational. I did attend the supervisor evaluation, so I learned about that. I also learned about school finances. Come to find out, I was in 2 workshops that I think I was supposed to pre-register for, but okay. The one, I did go to 4, and the one that actually kind of stuck with me was learning about how school districts partner with their local foundation. And so I did want to know who I can talk to learn more about that, how our foundation works with our school district. If we have one, I did hear we did have one. So I'm curious and interested to see how our foundation supports the board and the district in general. And may not be at this moment, but
Yeah.
I would like to learn more about how the foundation.
Talk to Reverend Hunt.
Okay,
Yeah, he's the president of that.
okay.
Yeah.
That is the end of my report.
Oh, that was quick. I
Thank
wonder
you.
if I get it quick. So that's it. Did she? All right. I'll say my updates for the triple Y that I went to and some other things for next week. Given that we went longer than we supposed to in our closed session. So thank you, all board members that attended all the functions throughout. Been very busy. Oh, Alex, I will get with you and Bill because I did kind of reach out to you guys to kind of move forward with having a student having a seat at the board. I did talk to our principal, Mr. Holyfield, and he's ready to go. He's ready to go and submit a person to us, even the first part of next year. He's ready. He's just ready to go. Okay, we're trying to get this in before the school year. So I'll be talking to Bill and Alex, and we have a building meeting with the principal on the 17th. We're not going to really discuss that, but that's offline. I'll talk to you more about that, okay? And I don't want to surprise us. One thing, we don't want to surprise our superintendent, and our superintendent should not surprise us. Okay, so more on that, okay? All right. No other board updates, superintendent, administrative updates?
Just to say, our students and our staff are working really hard to get that last bit of instruction in these next few weeks. And then the other thing I wanted to highlight is you should have at your table a lovely note that was given to us I'm not going to read it all for you, but this was in reference to the waiver, the boundary waiver that was received. And like I said, it's not often that we get thank you notes, but I just wanted to read the bottom so the community knew about this. And this was from Carla, Mike, Caleb, and Dylan Godlewski. And again, this was just saying their gratitude for taking the time to do the waiver. It says, there is a story in the Bible that teaches the importance of never forgetting to acknowledge and express gratitude. Dr. Carey, my family, and I want to express our sincerest gratitude to Mr. Surma, President Brown, and the school board members, and the attorney who pursued the waiver solution at your direction. Please feel free to share this letter. So I just wanted to certainly publicly thank the Godlewskis for that kind gesture, but also just wanted to thank the board for their continued support in helping us get this done for our families.
Thank you. Thank you.
The only question I have on that, Jason, is just moving forward, all the existing families are going to, finish their tenure, but to make sure that no one else is added to that list, correct? So that if they move into one of those streets, they go to their school district.
Correct, Mr. Swalish. When I issued the certified letters to those 24 students, I addressed them specifically to those students and their parents, and I've communicated that with registration, that it is specifically those students, not that home address.
Yeah, so if anybody else moves in on that street, it doesn't accidentally get enrolled here, right?
Correct, that's my understanding, and I'll double check with Dr. Milenchenko that I believe there was a couple of people that recently tried to register one of the streets at Donnell, was one of the streets in the subdivision. They were told that they're to go to another district, and when subsequent addresses in that area come up, from my understanding, registration checks the Will County property tax records and verifies the school districts
Sounds
to
good.
that address.
Thank you.
Just for clarification, should there be an expansion in any one of the families that has already been grandfathered in, would their child or new addition be allowed in?
I don't think so.
From my understanding, it was specifically for those students.
Perfect, thank you.
And that's the way I addressed it, was those specific students. Given that the people are aware of that they can make those arrangements.
I think it was
with the
specific, an amount like 24.
24 students.
Like specific students, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
And that's
Okay.
when I.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, perfect. I just wanted the clarification. Thank you.
And I did take the time, as I said, to look up each and individual student and their parent or guardian that was listed in Skyward and send the letters directly to them.
Perfect, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so this is the good news. Really good news, because that was a collaborative team effort. All right. All right, business. Oh, you go ahead. This is still on you. Yeah, number 10, B, business, and call up Jason there. Yeah.
Good evening, President Brown, distinguished members of the Board of Education, Dr. Kara Coglanese. I'm here to present the bid results, or discussion on the bid results for our regular pupils transportation services for the district. In November of 2024, we issued a publication to go out to bid for those services. Mandatory bid meeting was held. 6 companies attended the mandatory bid meeting. We received competitive bids from 3 companies. First company being Yellow Bus Company, the second company being First Student, and then the third bus company being Illinois Central. Positive Connections, Kickert, and Alltown all attended the mandatory bid meeting, but submitted letters saying that they were not in position to bid on our services at that time. The bid specifications were laid out. I was seeking a 3-year bid for regular pupil transportation services, and I'd like to share with you the bid results of the bid summary, including the route pricing. I have revised these from the ones that were in your board packet just to bring some clarity regarding the activity routes. So those numbers changed based on when I submitted it late last week. So the lowest bid came in and was submitted by Yellow Bus Group of America, over a 3-year estimate of $18,001,037.59. The second bid came in from our current provider, First Student, at a 3-year estimate of $19,712,051.11. And the third bid came in at a very close amount, submitted by Illinois Central $19,734,550.92. My recommendation is to award the bid to First Student, our current transportation provider. I would like to thank Mr. Barr and Mr. Tim for those very kind words. I apologize, Tim, I don't remember your last name off the top of my head. But I do want you guys to know that the bid was done in good faith in an effort to provide the best services and the best cost-effective service to our district. While Mr. Barr, his company did come in at the lowest bid, and he spoke to his knowledge of having 48 years in the transportation services. His corporation was incorporated in July of 2024, and while I have faith that they will gain business in the area, I wasn't ready to make a recommendation based on that. I felt it was in the best interest of the district to remain with First Student till we receive more established companies and bids in our region of the south suburbs.
So basically,
Yeah, you're good. Go ahead.
Okay, so basically you're saying you went with the lowest responsible bidder,
Correct.
and,
We're the most responsible bidder to provide safety
Okay.
transportation
all right, that makes sense.
in a form of, in a form of familiarity, considering
Sure.
all things considered, sir.
Sure, okay.
So do I understand, what you're saying is Yellow Bus Company got incorporated in July?
Correct.
May I ask another question? How long have we been using First Student?
I want to say that since about 2011,
Have we been using it for a while?
maybe. I don't have the exact date, but it has been quite some time they have been our provider.
In the years that we've used them, have we ever had a successful first week of school? I'm seriously asking because I know we haven't while my son has been taking buses. I'm seriously asking what makes somebody a responsible bidder when their first weeks of school and ability to maintain staffing and transportation makes, what?
Staffing was a problem for everybody.
I'm not doubting that, but our students are, and I'm sure all of the school buses had it. That's fine. I'm worried about our students in the district and their transportation and ability to get our students to and from their destinations in a timely manner has been lacking over the years. So what are we doing to ensure that First Student is actually maintaining their contracts and ability to pick up our students and deliver them on time instead of leaving them on street corners for sometimes 2 or 3 hours the first weeks of school?
That's a great question, Jamie. What I have begun to do, not only in the transportation department, but also in the business department, as we began to enforce liquidated damages with First Student. Year to date, we've assessed about $6,400 in liquid damages, which primarily are due to timely bus situations. So that's an effort a goal that I put out this year to ensure that we get the best service that we can.
Okay, and that'll be going forward as well with them?
Yeah, we continue to try and do that each month. And there's very specific language in the contract. We need to notify them within a certain amount of time frame if we didn't receive notice. So we continue to try and do that in the business office.
Okay.
And I know you're speaking to the first week of school, but after rolling out the My Ride K-12 app and things, I'm receiving a lot less transportation complaints than I did last year. So that was about the one piece of leverage that I could have, aside from frequent communications to not only dispatch in Glenwood and also South Holland, but also to the regional manager from First Student.
Perfect. As long as there's something happening for that, I'm all about it. Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, and we continue to work with the building secretaries because they are our first line of defense in terms of services. Marsha from the Crete Monee Middle School is wonderful at notifying us and documenting those violations, and then Miss Katie Cooper verifies those via GPS. That way we communicate those with the bus company.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Appreciate you.
Well, I can tell you over the years, I think First Student has been kind of a sole bidder. I don't think we had much competition with other bus companies bidding against them. So being the only one out there, you have a the propensity to do whatever. I'm the only one here, so I think they got competition. It's seeing the competition. I have never in my life seen bids so competitive of this magnitude of just all the people that bid it. So this was tight. This was good. So I'm sure they're going to tighten their belt on some loose ends. So they have came to the plate, Jamie, when we had brought issues to them and kind of straightened up some things. But as Dr. Coglanice alluded to, that's not uncommon for bus companies to miss the boat the first day of the week and leave students, but that doesn't make it right.
Right, and
It
that's
doesn't
all
make
I
it
was
right.
saying. Like, I know there are problems, and
Yeah.
that's cool, like, all of
Yeah.
the world is having problems like
Yes.
that, but like, I'm concerned about
And,
our
and I
students.
think a little bit of that too kind of falls on us, not meaning us, our district, because
Yeah.
some of the communication is from registration to the, we have someone that handles all the routing, right?
Yes, Mrs. Cooper.
So we have someone that handles all that routing, so I think it's the way the information trickles down from there to there to there, gets to the bus company. I think it's a conglomeration of all of them.
Okay.
I think a little bit of it is us, I think definitely the bus company, because I will tell you, my daughter's a junior, and 2 first days, she has not been picked up. But
Right.
I'm not offended by it because I'm a little bit outskirt, but I know that process, and we just called somebody at the high school, and they route us over, and then it's taken care of after that.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying,
Right, I get it. I think it's a collective thing too. I think the bus company's definitely got a good portion of that, but I still think a little bit of that is on our district from fueling that, or sending that information down too.
absolutely.
We
I
all
just-
got to do that better. And I think in the last 3 years, registration's gotten much better. Because before that, it was way worse.
It was.
Thank you.
Okay.
Like, I just wanted to check, so thank
Yeah.
you. Didn't mean it to be that bad of a,
And that was my intention to go out to bid this early for next year's services, was to solicit competitive bids in the market. You know, a lot of bus companies need to prepare staff, prepare vehicles if they are awarded a contract. Our special education transportation contract is also up at the end of this year. I began talks with our current provider about extending that, and then going out to bid is still a possibility, also to ensure that we have the best possible service and the most competitive service for our students.
I think the last contract, no one bid but for student. I think they were the only one.
Exactly. Yes.
So Jason, will this be on the agenda next week for a vote?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So is there anything in the contract, any provisions in the contract, if first student was awarded the contract and down the road they just was not meeting our expectations, can we relieve them of their contract?
I'm not a lawyer, but I'm sure there are. We are going to ask for them to put up a performance bond that is in the bid specs. That kind of, I don't want to say a cash bond, but a deposit that they will perform in a certain manner.
What percentage of
10%.
contract? 10%?
Yes, sir.
As a performance bond?
Yes, sir.
$1.9 million. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Any other questions? All right.
No, I just know from personal experience of our speed transportation, we did have a new company. I don't recall who it was, but we had to end their contract and then start a new contract with a different bus company because of
Just their performance?
yeah, because of their performance
lack of,
and their training of their drivers. A lot of those drivers need to have they need to know how to do with wheelchairs and things like that.
Handicap,
So right,
disabilities.
exactly. And so they had to cancel that the first contract and get a new company to do it. But yeah, and the lawyer was really involved with the contracts and going over, telling us how to go about doing that. So
Different language in the contract.
yeah, it's too bad that our lawyer's not here. So.
Sorry.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, no further questions for Jason? Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Alrighty. It is kind of odd, never seen a consent agenda, so sure, yes. Please, I'll spare you this one. I'll spare you on this one. Next up is the consent agenda on personnel and culture. A, to approve personnel report. 1A, approve educational support staff employment. Can I have a motion to approve as what I just read?
So moved.
Moved by Nelson,
Second.
second by Alex. Any questions or comments? If not, roll call, please. Mr. Secretary.
All right, Mr. Albrecht?
Aye.
Mr. Gallegos is an aye. Mr. Swalish?
Aye.
Ms. Zeit-Stumbris?
Aye.
Ms. Wolfork?
Hi.
Dr. Hall?
Aye.
President Brown?
Aye, motion carry. Do we have any old business? Hearing none, new business? Well, it's not new business for me, I guess. Maybe it is. Alex, can you get with Dr. Kara on what's involved with policies? It's the secretary and the superintendent kind of work together with policies, so she can, if you can talk to her, give her an email or call her. That's his new
Press
responsibility.
Plus and all that stuff?
Yeah, all of
yeah.
that, okay.
Mhm.
And it's something in, actually something in our board policies that says that. And also there's something in there that said that the secretary should get $500. Skip that part, okay? Skip that part.
We're gonna,
Best practice is 0. Okay.
All right.
I have, any other new business? If not, can I have a motion to adjourn?
Moved. Second.
Moved by Nelson, second by Bill. All in one voice, say aye.
aye.
Any nays? We are adjourned. Thank you, public, for joining us.